Hello and welcome to RGU Talk, the official podcast of Robert Gordon University. I'm your host, Johnny Milne, and I have a very special guest this week, President of RGU men's football team, the Purple Tornadoes, and final year journalism student, Gabriel Antoniazzi. Gabs, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me, Jonathan.
Now, we may as well start with the most recent success, the Purple Tornadoes beating Bournemouth University 4-1 in the British Trophy final. That must have been a fantastic moment for you.
Yeah, just as you said, it was absolutely fantastic for me, for all the boys and for the whole club in general. We never really thought that we could win the cup. Obviously come from a small university such as ours with a very little budget for football. We only get 1 hour of training a week.
Okay.
But to get all the way to the final, to beat Newcastle away, Edinburgh away, and then end up at the Big Bucks Wednesday all the way down in Nottingham and play an English uni from the South Coast, possibly the furthest away team we could have played in Bournemouth. It was just a great experience, and then to win it was just amazing for all of us.
But it wasn't all plain sailing though, was it? Because it was actually 1-1 at full time, but you went on to get 4-1 at the final whistle. Was anything said after 90 minutes to kind of spur you all on?
Well, throughout the whole tournament, we'd only conceded 1 goal, so we were based on a kind of a rigid defensive shape, and we would just sit in and let the other teams attack us. And we went 1-0 down about 45 seconds into the game.
Oh, not ideal, then.
No, not ideal, which obviously shocked all of us. But then in the first 10 minutes, we kind of got a grip and we thought, we're the better side here, we can win this. So we were all kind of calm. We scored about 25 minutes in, make it 1-1. And then it was a very tight game, clearly like a nervous cup final.
Yeah.
But with about 10 minutes to go in normal time, they got a boy sent off for a stamp on our keeper's chest. So it was 11 versus 10, and we were all kind of looking around thinking, let's just make it to extra time and we'll run them over. We'd just beaten a team on the Saturday, 4 days before in extra time as well, where we'd scored late on in normal time and we'd gone on to win 5-2 in extra time. So we were just saying, we'll get through this and we'll just bash them over in extra time. And that was the only time that we actually thought we could lose the game, was the 10 minutes when they had 10 men, because they were throwing it, thinking exactly the opposite of us. We can only win it now. And then when the final whistle went in normal time, we just thought, right, that's fine. We had a quick team talk saying, just keep playing, it'll come. And literally 2 minutes into extra time, we went 2-1 up. And that was it done. We subbed myself off for our notorious defensive midfielder, Aidan Moffat, and he just shored the game up, and that was that, 4-1.
Fantastic. Now, I understand Hannah, who's the head of RGU Sport, has made a huge deal of the fact that this victory sees yourselves as the first RGU sports team to win a national trophy of this level. Obviously, that must be a highlight for your time as president. Looking back on your time, what else stands out?
In my time as president, this is, of course, the greatest thing I've achieved, but throughout my time in the football club, when I was in second year, we got promoted from the second division in Scotland. Now, you can only enter the British Trophy, that level tournament, if you're in the top division. So winning that league in second year had a bigger effect than any of us thought it could. We thought we'd just win it and then have a good year in the top division and maybe we'd get relegated or just survive. But we've come on leaps and bounds since then, and we finished third in the top division this season. And obviously, it allowed us to qualify for the national tournament, which we eventually went on to win. So yeah, I would say that in second year was great, but no, this is definitely the best.
And how did you get involved in the sports club setup in the first place?
So I was always going to join the football team wherever I went, whatever university I went to. But my dad is the coach of the football team, and he always has been. So when I went to school here in Aberdeen, I used to come and watch the team on Saturdays, and if I had a Wednesday afternoon off, I would come and watch. But I never wanted to go to RGU. I always wanted to go away to a different uni. So when I had to apply, I applied to 4 unis outside of Aberdeen and RGU. But I only got into RGU, and I think it was Napier or something, so I decided to come to RGU. So I never really planned on joining the team, but then as soon as I was here, I thought, yeah, of course I'll get involved. And then yeah, I've just been involved ever since, and now to be the president and all. It's fantastic.
And have you had any other roles with the sport and physical activity side of RGU?
Yeah, so within the sports club, the football club, I was vice president 2 years ago, but I was also in the sport and physical activity team for 2 years, which is a small committee to support the sports president. So I was in that in second year and third year with Giampiero Franchi and Kat Corbett last year. So that also really helped me. And then, of course, Purple Wednesdays, which is kind of on the sports side of things. So, yeah, I've always been involved in sport at RGU.
Now, moving away from the sports side slightly, you're obviously coming towards the end of your journalism degree. What made you choose journalism? Obviously, you explained RGU wasn't... We won't take it personally. We weren't your first choice. But why journalism?
Yeah, as I said, I applied for different things. And I didn't just apply for journalism. I applied for a few journalism things. I applied for a sports science course or two. But I've always wanted to do something to do with football and to do something to do with sports. So doing journalism would keep my options open. So when I was given the opportunity to do journalism, I thought, yeah, I'll do that and try and really focus on sports broadcasting. So that's why I did choose it, and I don't regret it. I mean, I've had a fantastic time here, and I've learnt a lot, and I think it's stood me in good stead for the future.
And as it happens, I've mentioned to you before recording, I was a journalism student here a few years ago. From your point of view, what's been the highlight of the studies side of your time at university?
From the actual studies themselves, it sounds bad to say, but probably Erasmus, which wasn't actually at RGU.
No, but, we facilitated it.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that at all. Where did you go?
I went to Brussels.
Okay.
For 5 months, which it wasn't my first choice. I wanted to go to Utrecht, which seems a bit silly now because Utrecht's just a small city, but Brussels is the capital of Europe, and it was fantastic. I absolutely loved every minute of it. Just the beer, the chocolate, the waffles.
Student life at it.
Yeah, student life, and for once, kind of being the outsider, being someone, because my French is terrible. I learnt German at school, so I can hardly speak any French. Dutch as well, I can hardly speak any of it. And just to kind of be the outsider and live a completely different experience, I just thoroughly enjoyed it, and it's something I'd like to do again. But Erasmus, yeah, if anyone at the university gets the opportunity to do it, I think they should. And I also think it's something that they should look into for other courses such as pharmacy and engineering. They can't go on Erasmus, but I think they should look into introducing it because it's such a fantastic opportunity for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned, going back a step, you mentioned Purple Wednesdays, which is obviously one of your key things acting as presenter and co-producer of it. For people who might not have come across it, what exactly is Purple Wednesdays? So
Purple Wednesdays is something that we created 3 years ago. It's a brief sports roundup show for all the sports clubs and sporting activity at RGU. So we usually just kind of do a roundup of last week's results, big fixtures that might be coming up this week, and any events such as Granite City Challenge or the boat race, or any social events that might be coming up, like the Blues Ball. And we try and interview as many teams as we can, as many players as we can. If someone stood out particularly one week, we try and do that. But it's just trying to raise awareness about RGU sports clubs and give all the sports clubs the recognition that they really deserve, because there wasn't much out there when we first arrived. There was nothing out there really, other than maybe a Facebook page. But I think Purple Wednesdays has been a really good thing, and I'd love to see it continue when I leave. Hopefully it will.
Yeah, absolutely. It's quite funny because I think when I started working here, I was aware of Purple Wednesdays, and it was, whenever you look at the image before you clicked on a video, it was two people sitting in a studio.
Yeah.
Then more recently, when I looked at it, it's photos of yourself and Gab, the other host, dressed in lederhosen.
Yeah.
So what exactly does a typical episode involve now, and why the sudden shift?
So when we first came up with it, it was myself and Giampiero Franchi, a sports president 2 years ago. It was our idea to create Purple Wednesdays, and I spoke to Gavin and our other co-creator Scott Whitman, and we just kind of came up with the idea, the whole design of it, the plan, and we wanted it to be based on Sky Sports News, which I'm sure you've all seen.
Makes sense, yeah.
So that's, if you watch the early episodes, it's kind of based on that, but it does look something from the early 1990s. But we just thought that we needed to make it a bit more interactive, a bit more user-friendly, easy to watch. And this year with me and Gav both being in fourth year, last year we were away on Erasmus, and in second year it was the first year we did it. But this year was the first year that we could both present it. And obviously we've got a really good chemistry on screen because we're really good friends. So we thought we'd just do that and we'd make it less scripted. So usually it would be in the studio, and I would type up a script on the TriCast and someone would scroll it down so you could just read it through. But now we don't do it. We can do it completely unscripted. Which is why there's so many mistakes, admittedly.
But as you say, you guys have got fantastic chemistry, so you think you get away with it.
Yeah, that's the plan. So it is unscripted. We obviously have a rough idea of what we're going to say. But yeah, we just try and make it more genuine and seem more like a conversation than just auto cue. And it gets a bit boring if you just watch the studio every week, you know what I mean?
Absolutely, I know what you mean, yeah.
But if you take it out, you go to different buildings around campus, you go to different locations to see different sports clubs, then people will actually watch it.
And you mentioned you hope people will carry it on after you leave the university. Is there a way people can get involved, and how do people how do they take it forward?
Of course there's ways people can get involved. Anyone could have got involved over the last 3 years. It's completely voluntary. All you'd have to do is email myself or Gavin or anyone in the team, or just speak to one of the support staff here at ABS in the media team. But yeah, we're kind of hoping that some of the creative industry school, media, PR or journalism students will take it up. And it would be good to kind of advertise to them the roles and the benefits of it, because it could benefit them in their future career. So there's a few boys I know in the football team that study media and journalism that I'm hoping might have the bottle and stand up and present it. But of course Gavin will be here next year because he's going to be sports president, so hopefully he'll keep it going slightly.
Well, fingers crossed we see it for years to come. Now, more generally, you're probably not the first Antoniazzi that listeners may have heard of. Your dad, Filippo, is Director of Student Life here at the university, while your brother, Christian, plays for Aberdeen Football Club. Yeah. What is it like following their proverbial footsteps? Obviously, you're actually Christian's older brother, but having Filippo here at the university, Christian out there on Football Manager, in FIFA, etc. Must be a bit weird. Yeah,
I get a lot of stick from all my mates for being worse at football than my younger brother, but most of their younger brothers aren't professional footballers. So.
Indeed.
But no, it's great. My dad's always helped me, whether it's with the football side of things or with journalism, and then with Chris, he's at the crucial time of his career because he's only 17, turning 18. He's just got a new contract at the club, and hopefully he'll go out on loan next year. So it's just it's exciting to watch him play, but it's also a shame that I'll never get to play with him because he's far too good, to play at my level.
Well, he can come home every now and then.
Yeah, I know. If he does get released, touch wood he won't, but maybe he'll come to RGU one day. Oh,
it could always happen. As you say, touch wood not. Yeah. You mentioned earlier with your dad at the university, he volunteers as the football coach. Have there ever been any little tiffs over the style of coaching or the tactics? Certainly when you come to big matches like the recent one.
Yeah, it's never anything bad. But if he's going to single someone out, it's going to be me, because obviously I can take it. But there's a famous corner routine that we do. It's called Suzanne. And we always do it when we have I shouldn't be telling you this in case any of our opposition are listening, but we usually do it when we have a corner in a game. Okay. And we'll take the corner, someone's standing at the edge of the box, they run towards the ball, step over it, and someone comes in out of nowhere and strikes the ball. And at training, I think it was about 2 years ago, I was doing Suzanne, so I was taking the corner, and you have to fizz it in with your laces. Okay. And I kept side-footing it, and he was screaming at me, laces, and all the boys were there, and everyone was just standing there, scared. And I kept side-footing it for some reason. He went absolutely mental in front of everyone. So every time we talk about Suzanne now, we still do it every game. Every time we talk about Suzanne in the change room, everyone kind of looks at each other and thinks, "Oh God, who's going to have to hit Suzanne this week?"
Who wants to get shouted at by Phil?
Exactly. Yeah, but no, it's fine, and the whole team in general has really good chemistry, so I think it works well.
Well, finally, with your dissertation work coming to an end, graduation quickly approaching, What's next for you after university?
I'm not sure yet. I'm looking into things. Definitely stay with the journalism side of things. Hopefully, a broadcasting role. But nothing set. I'd love to work with the football club here in the city, or with big media companies, BBC or Sky or anything. But who knows?
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Well, Gabs, thank you so much for joining me today.
And thank you for having me.
Best of luck with the future, and obviously finishing your dissertation. I
Yeah.
know it can be entertaining.
Yeah, I'll hope to finish it. I hope to.
And that's it for another episode of RGU Talk. On behalf of the university, I've been Johnny Milne, and we'll talk to you later.